Every beginning has its own magic. Every moment has its own charm. And on this bright morning, under these shining lights, we weave stories with music, laughter, and warmth.
With hearts full of joy and excitement, let's begin our annual function and celebrate the colors, culture, and celebration.
Respected MD Sir, Principal Ma'am, parents, teachers, and my dear friends, it gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to our annual function. This morning is not just another day, it's a celebration of our efforts, achievements, and togetherness.
Each performance you witness today is a reflection of hard work, talent, and passion.
So, with hearts full of joy and spirits full of enthusiasm, let's begin this morning of celebration, inspiration, and delight.
From dance to drama, from music to words, every act has a story to tell, a story of teamwork, talent, and triumph. I am Manpreet.
And I am Bhuvi.
On behalf of Class 11th S, welcome you all to our annual function.
Just like every dawn begins with light, let our annual function begin with prayer, the light that guides us through the path of courage and wisdom.
So please stand up, join your hands and close your eyes for the prayer. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Where knowledge is free. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments. By narrow domestic walls. Where the words come out from the depth of truth. Where the mind is led forward by thee. Into ever widening thought and action. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father. Let my country awake.
Every day begins with a great thought, one that inspires us to move forward with purpose and positivity. So now it's time for the thought of the day.
The thought of the day is, the world is safer today because one man dared to believe in prevention rather than cure. Edward Jenner taught us that small act of courage can lead to generational progress. Thank you.
Every great step in human history begins with a question, what if? Edward Jenner asked that very question when he first saw the deadly disease of smallpox. His courage and curiosity gave the world the first vaccine saving millions of lives. To explore his contribution and impact on society, our participants are here with a group discussion on the remarkable life and work of Edward Jenner.
Good morning, everyone. Today, our group will be discussing the life and legacy of a man whose courage and curiosity changed the course of medical science. Sir Edward Jenner, famously known as the father of immunology, he discovered world's first vaccine and helped eradicate one of the deadliest diseases in the human history, smallpox. Let's now begin by looking into his early life.
Edward Jenner was born on May 17, 1749 in Berkeley, England. His father was a clergyman, so he grew up in an educated and disciplined household. From an early age, he showed fascination with nature and medicine and often observed plants, animals, and diseases with curiosity.
Right, at just 14, he started working as an assistant under a local surgeon. This early experience provided him valuable medical exposure. Later, he moved to London to work under the famous surgeon John Hunter, who was known for his belief in experimentation. Hunter's motto, "Don't think, try," stayed with Jenner throughout his medical career and inspired his scientific approach.
That's interesting. So how did this curiosity lead to his groundbreaking discovery?
Well, during Jenner's time, smallpox was one of the most feared diseases. It killed millions of people and left many people scared for their lives. But Jenner noticed something unusual. Milkmaid who had caught cowpox, a mild disease from cow, were never seemed to get affected from smallpox.
Exactly. This observation made him wonder if contracting smallpox protected people from cowpox. To test this idea in 1796, he performed one of the most significant experiments in medical history. He took a material from cowpox stored on a milkmaid named Sarah Nelmes and inoculated on a boy named James Phipps.
Weeks later, Jenner exposed the boy to smallpox, but amazingly, the boy did not fall ill. This experiment proved that the cowpox infection made him immune to smallpox. This was the birth of the word vaccine, a term Jenner coined from the word vacca, Latin word for cow.
That's such a fascinating discovery, but I assume not everyone accepted it immediately.
Not at all. Jenner's idea faced strong opposition. Many people doubted him, some called him crazy, and spread bizarre rumors like people vaccinated with cowpox might develop cow-like features. There was a lot of fear and superstition back then.
But despite the ridicule, Jenner didn't give up. He collected evidence, conducted more trials, and published his findings. Slowly, more doctors began to see the success of his vaccination method, and over time, it became widely accepted in the world and changed the world of medicine forever.
Before Jenner, the method used to prevent smallpox was called virilation, where people were deliberately infected with a mild form of smallpox itself. It was extremely risky and often fatal. Jenner's vaccination using cowpox was much safer and more reliable, saving countless lives.
And his work did not just stop there. Jenner's discovery led to the first ever global vaccination campaigns. More than 150 years later, in 1980, the World Health Organization declared smallpox eradicated. Imagine that, one of the deadliest diseases in history, whipped off the planet, all thanks to Jenner's vision.
That's an incredible impact, but I've heard Jenner was more than just a scientist. Is that true?
Yes, apart from being a medical pioneer, Jenner was also a passionate naturalist. He studied bird migration and even wrote papers for Royal Society. He truly believed in serving people through both science and public welfare.
His humility was remarkable too. Despite of his fame, Jenner never sought wealth or status from his discovery. He was focused on making the vaccination accessible to everyone. His principles continue to guide modern medicine, precaution over cure, and compassion alongside science.
Beautifully said. To conclude, Edward Jenner's life is a testament to how one person's courage, dedication, and observation can change the fate of humanity. His discovery didn't just eliminate smallpox, it also laid foundation for modern immunology and the vaccines that saves billions of lives today. Let's now remember his story as an inspiration to how to stay curious, brave, and persistent. Because true progress often begins with a single question and the courage to seek its answer.
That was a thought-provoking discussion. Let us now carry the same spirit of courage and curiosity in our own lives, as Edward Jenner's legacy reminds us that one idea backed by determination can change the course of history. Thank you.
Science has always been a guiding light for humanity. But behind every great discovery lies the courage of one determined soul. Today, we bring before you a story of a man whose vision changed the destiny of a mankind. Through this skit, our performers will take you on a journey back in a time, showing how a small experiment became the world's greatest shield against the deadly disease. Let's welcome them a huge round of applause.
England 1796, smallpox spreads fever across every home. But one man, Dr. Edward Jenner, believes he's close to a cure. The scene of Edward's childhood, where he made an early discovery.
Sister, I'm going to play with my friends outside.
Outside? No, you must refrain from doing that. There's a dangerous disease called smallpox spreading around. Have you not heard about it?
Smallpox? What does that name suggest?
It's the most terrible of things, my dear. People suffer from fever and painful spots all over their bodies. Many souls have been lost, and unfortunately, in more number are children.
Whoa, that seems very dreadful. Will I suffer the same fate and be the one among them?
No, God will protect you if you stay inside and keep safe. Give me a word that you won't go out.
Listening to a sister, I will stay inside.
Curiosity about smallpox strikes Edward at young because he had nothing to do except thinking, and his curiosity only gave him the hint of the solution. Edward was feeling restless at home with no games to play and no friends around. The day seemed dull and endless.
I'm extremely bored. There's nothing interesting to spend my time on.
Good morning, young Edward. We have bought some fresh milk for you.
And some delicious butter too, straight from churn, specially for you.
Oh wow! You came from outside? Isn't it dangerous with the outbreak of smallpox?
We are lucky, dear. We never seem to catch it. God is protecting us.
Some say it is because we have had cowpox. Maybe that's why smallpox does not trouble us.
Edward, after completing his studies, returns to town with his assistant and goes in a town hospital. People were suffering due to smallpox and debate arose between Edward, his friend town doctor and his assistant.
So many suffering. Is this the horror of smallpox?
Another child gone, we are helpless, Edward.
Sir, is there nothing we can do to save these poor souls?
I feel the same, but even today's medicine have no cure for smallpox.
Please fetch some milk for this poor child.
Milk? That reminds me of a theory that I have been working on for the last 2 years of my life, and I am utterly determined to test it.
But sir, what does it have to do with the miserable scene of death?
What if we infect somebody with cowpox and expose them to smallpox to test their immunity against it?
Have you gone mad or have you lost your mind due to this horrific scene of death?
No, I'm serious in all my senses.
Risking a life based on a theory on milkmaids? That does not sound sensible from any angle.
Doctor, I'm risking one life to save countless others.
But sir, who will you test this on?
There's one boy, untouched by smallpox, innocent, vulnerable, is our only hope.
But who will give you their child for your experiment?
I will talk to the gardener. His son has still not had smallpox.
This is pure madness.
No, it's hope. And if it works, then we'll have a way to save millions of lives.
And sir, if it fails?
Then I must bear the guilt and try again.
Edward, along with his assistant and the town doctor, goes to his gardener's house to ask for his son's help.
Mr. Jenner, how might be your humble servant be of service to you?
I've come to you with a desperate heart and a heavy hope. Only you can help.
What is it, sir?
I want to test a theory for a cure for smallpox on a person who still not had smallpox. I want the help of your son.
How can the son help, sir? I think he is too young to do a scientific research. And also, what do you intend to do with him?
We intend to infect him with cowpox and then expose him to smallpox afterwards to test his immunity against it.
What? I will never allow this, sir. How could you have even thought of getting approval? Putting my son's life into danger is the last thing I will ever think about.
He is our only child, sir. If anything happens to him, how will we live with him? Forgive me, sir, but I don't think that I can help you in this endeavor.
Edward here has dedicated all his life to finding a cure to smallpox. Your son is in the right hands. Lady, please be a strong will and give us permission to test his theory on your son. This is not reckless, it's hope.
Hope or gamble? He is our only child. What if something goes wrong? You people expect me to risk my son's life for an experiment's sake?
But dearest mother, if my assistance might contribute in any way to a discovery of a cure for so grievous an affliction, then I shall offer it, even it imperil my life. Master Edward, you have my consent. I shall aid you.
You speak so boldly of sacrifice, but why must you give the sacrifice?
Mother, someone has to come forward. I have always wanted to help people like you do, Mr. Jenner. If this is my chance, I will take it.
You're a brave young boy, young James. Sarah, thanks for cooperation. Without you, I could not be able to do these tests.
Doctor, there you thank me. I will do my best to help you save the world.
Young James, please come in. Sit down. I have to tell you something. I'm going to infect you with a mild disease known as cowpox. It's not dangerous, but it shall prevent smallpox from even harming you.
I'm scared, sir, but I trust you. I heard my mother talk about it. Our milkmaid recovered from it in a few days.
Yes, and so will you.
He is braver than most grown men I have ever met.
Please lie down, young James. Young James, shall we proceed forward?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Days passed. James recovered swiftly from cowpox and in the care and observation of Dr. Edward. Now the true test awaited.
Doctor, the spots are fading and there is no sign of fever today.
Excellent. Assistant, bring me the smallpox sample immediately. The faster we get this done, the more lives we save. Young James, are you feeling alright? Shall we proceed forward?
I'm feeling a bit dizzy, but other than that, I'm feeling in the pink of my head.
4 days after that, the gardener and his wife visit the lab.
My son, how are you? Do you feel all right? Did you eat well? Here I brought you some apples from Norfolk.
Greetings, Mr. and Mrs. Phipps.
Mr. Jenner, is my son alright?
Yes, Mr. Phipps. Your son is perfectly healthy. Even with smallpox in his body is completely healthy. The cure has worked.
I feel stronger than ever. If this helps others to live without fear, then I'm proud to have helped.
Years of study, sleepless nights, and doubts, all worth it for this moment. The world will remember your courage, young James.
I feared for your life, my son, but now I have seen that you have given life to so many.
Sir, I finished the task you assigned me. Now I think we have enough data to start giving you to general public.
Excellent. We must start the trials immediately.
You have done a very good deed for this world, my friend.
I'm very proud of you, my brother. You saved millions.
Thanks, sister and doctor. But I could not have done this without the help of my assistant, the doctor, and especially the contribution of the Phipps family, as well as Sarah. And this is how the genius of a man and the braveness of a young boy saved millions of lives over 2 centuries. Thank you.
The WHO Assembly.
Esteemed delegates, today we mark a historic time. Smallpox, once the deadliest disease known to mankind, has been eradicated. This is the fruit of global unity and scientific courage. Let us honor Dr. Edward Jenner, whose discovery of smallpox made this possible. Let this be remembered not just as the end of a disease, but the beginning of a new hope.
What you just witnessed was not merely a scene from history, but a lesson for all of us. Edward Jenner's courage and compassion remind us that true greatness lies in surviving humanity. His discovery continues to protect millions of lives even today. So let's appreciate our talented students for bringing this inspiring story to life with such dedication.
Poetry is rhythm of heartbeats and music of thoughts. It has power to touch souls and inspire minds. Now, we welcome Bhuvi and Mandeep of a class 11th S to perform a beautiful English poem.
In fields of green where cows once grazed, in fields of green where cows once grazed, a humble doctor's eyes were raised. He watched not war nor grand parade, but milkmaid's hands unscarred, unfaded.
Where others saw but rustic toil, he glimpsed the secret in the soil. A gentle sickness, mild and small, that guarded life against the pall.
No sword he drew, no crown he sought, but battled death with patient thought. A drop of hope, a careful test, upon the child untroubled chest.
The fever passed, the boy still played. The plague at last began to fade. No temple bells, no king's decree, but whispers spread, he has found the key.
From cottage hands to city streets, from cottage hands to city streets, the news took wings on silent beat. A single spark from mind to mind
to heal the wound of humankind.
So let his name in reverence ring. So let his name in reverence ring. No general, priest, nor mighty king. But Jenner, gentle, wise, and brave, who taught the world a life to save. Who taught the world a life to save. Thank you.
In every movement, there is meaning. In every note, there is devotion. Let us now experience the beauty of our tradition through a classical presentation.
Music is a universal language that unites words beyond words. Up next, we present a melodious Hindi song that will add warmth and charm to this celebration.
आसमान रूठा सिसक रही है बारिशें और जमी है धूल तेरी शाखों पे। एक ख्वाब है टूटा कहीं तो आंखों में, मैं जोड़ता हूँ कांच बिखरे राहों में। खामोशियाँ जो दिल को मेरे सहमाती है, वो दिल से कह जाती है। तूफान तो आकर चल दिए, सिहरन बाकी है, वो मन में रह जाती है। आंगन के कदमों से, छोटे से कदमों से रूठी है उड़ान तेरी आज तेरे पंखों से। एक ख्वाब है टूटा कहीं तो आंखों में, मैं जोड़ता हूँ कांच बिखरे राहों में। आसमां रूठा एक सितारे को मिलाना आशियाँ, धूप ने लूटा नन्हे से एक गुलसिता को साथिया। सिसक रही है बारिशें और जमी है धूल तेरी शाखों पे।
You have seen many dance forms like classical, hip hop, contemporary, but this one is little different. It's all about expression, feeling and creativity by using only hands. Now it's time for unique and mesmerizing hand dance.
Up next, we bring you a beautiful Hindi poem that captures deep emotion with simple words. So let's welcome Dipanshi and Shubhu of our class for a Hindi poem.
जीवन में एक सितारा था, माना वह बेहद प्यारा था। वह डूब गया तो डूब गया, अंबर के आनंद को देखो। कितने इसके तारे टूटे, कितने इसके प्यारे छूटे, जो छूट गए फिर कहाँ मिले। पर बोलो टूटे तारों पर, कब अंबर शोक मनाता है, जो बीत गई सो बात गई।
जीवन में वह था एक कुसुम, थे उस पर नित्य न्यौछावर तुम। वह सूख गया तो सूख गया, मधुबन की छाती को देखो। सूखी कितनी इसकी कलियां, मुरझाई कितनी वल्लरियां। जो मुरझाई फिर कहाँ खिली, पर बोलो सूखे फूलों पर, कब मधुबन शोर मचाता है, जो बीत गई सो बात गई।
जीवन में था एक दीपक जल, जिससे उज्जवल था हर पल, वह बुझ गया तो बुझ गया। प्रभात का दर्पण देखो, कितने इसके दीपक अंधेरे में है, कितने इसकी बुझाएं हारे में है। जो बुझ गए फिर कहाँ खिले, तो बोलो बुझते सूरज, कब सूरज धीरज खोता है, जो बीत गई सो बात गई।
जीवन में एक किरण उजियारी थी, जिसने हर राह सवारी थी, वह खो गई तो खो गई। देखो नभ के सूरज को, कितनी बार बादल ढक जाते, कितनी बार धुंध से छा जाते। जो ढक गया फिर भी उगता है, पर बोलो छिपते सूरज पर, कब दिन का रुख सा जाता है, जो बीत गई सो बात गई। धन्यवाद।
They say, when words fail, music speaks. Let's sit back, relax, and this English song fill our hearts with harmony. So here we give a warm welcome to Yashika.
Moving on tonight, changes into something red. She's heading for something that she won't forget. Having no regrets is all that she really wants. Driving too fast, the moon is breaking through her head. She's heading for something that she won't forget. Having no regrets is all that she really wants. Only getting older, they say. I've been thinking about it lately. Does it ever drive you crazy? Just how fast the night changes. Everything that you ever dreamed of disappearing when you wake up. But there's nothing to be afraid of, even when the night changes. It will never change me and you. Heading for the sky, the morning light begins to rise. She's heading, finding strength where courage lies. Heart is beating strong and she doesn't want it to stop. Moving too fast, the moon is lighting up her skin. She's going, doesn't even know it yet. Having no regret is all that she really wants. We're only getting older, they say. I've been thinking about it lately. Does it ever drive you crazy? Just how fast the night changes. Everything that you ever dreamed of disappearing when you wake up. But there's nothing to be afraid of, even when the night changes. It will never change me and you.
An instrumental performance is like a silent poem. Every art holds an emotion. Every note tells a story. So let's open our heart and let the melody touches our hearts. And through this instrumental performance.
Dance is the hidden language of a soul. It can speak what words cannot express. Let us welcome the heartbeat of today's morning, our group dancers, with a big round of applause.
और माँ, इसमें खाने का सामान भी रखा है। भूख लगे तो कुछ खा लेना और ये पानी की बोतल और अपना ख्याल रखना। चलो हम चलते हैं। सुनिए, घबराओ मत, अब इसे अपना ही घर समझो।
आप कौन हो? मेरा बेटा और बहू आते ही होंगे।
अब कोई नहीं आएगा, ये वृद्धाश्रम है। यहाँ जो भी आता है वो हमेशा के लिए ही आता है।
कभी शाम ढले तो मेरे दिल में आ जाना, कभी चांद खिले तो मेरे दिल में आ जाना, कभी शाम ढले तो मेरे दिल में आ जाना, कभी चांद खिले तो मेरे दिल में आ जाना, मगर आना इस तरह तो कि यहाँ से फिर न जाना, कभी शाम ढले तो मेरे दिल में आ जाना, कभी चांद खिले तो मेरे दिल में आ जाना।
काश मैं भी ऐसे स्कूल आ पाता। काश मैं भी ऐसे पढ़ पाता। काश हमें भी कोई समझ पाता और हम भी ऐसी जिंदगी जी पाते।
भीगी भीगी सी है रातें, भीगी भीगी यादें, भीगी भीगी बातें, भीगी भीगी आंखों में कैसी नमी है। सपनों का साया पलकों पे आया, पल में हंसाया, पल में रुलाया, फिर भी ये कैसी कमी है।
मुझे अपनी माँ से बात करनी है। क्या तुम्हारी माँ भगवान के पास है? हाँ, उनसे कहो ना, उनके राजू का फोन है। एक मिनट। नीता, कोई लड़के का फोन है, वो भगवान का नंबर मांग रहा है, अपनी माँ से बात करना चाहता है। तू उससे बात कर लेना, बेचारे का दिल बहल जाएगा। जाना यार, क्यों बोल कर रही है? प्लीज मेरी खातिर 2 मिनट बात कर लेगी तो तेरा क्या बिगड़ेगा? ठीक है, दे लो बेटा, अपनी माँ से बात करो। हेलो माँ, मैं राजू बोल रहा हूँ। माँ, तुम्हारा राजू। जानती हूँ बेटा, मैं भला अपने राजू को नहीं पहचानूंगी? तू मुझे पहचान गई माँ। माँ तू कैसी है? मैं अच्छी हूँ। मुझे तुम्हारी बहुत याद आती है माँ। तुम भगवान से छुट्टी लेके मेरे पास आ जाओ माँ, तुम आ जाओ।
पास आए दूरियां फिर भी कम ना हुई, एक अधूरी सी हमारी कहानी रही। आसमां को जमीन ये जरूरी नहीं, जा मिले जा मिले। इश्क सच्चा वही जिसको मिलती नहीं मंजिलें मंजिलें। रंग थे नूर था जब करीब तू था, एक जन्नत सा था ये जहां। बात की रेत पे कुछ मेरे नाम सा लिख के छोड़ गया तू कहाँ। हमारी अधूरी कहानी, हमारी अधूरी कहानी। हम जो चलने लगे हैं ये रास्ते, आहा मंजिल से बेहतर लगने लगे हैं ये रास्ते। खो जाए हम यूं लापता, मीलों चले जाना कहाँ ना हो पता। बैठे बैठे ऐसे कैसे कोई रास्ता लगे हैं ये रास्ते।
जब अकेलापन और मासूमियत एक ही छत के नीचे आ जाए तो जिंदगी फिर से मुस्कुराने लगती है। बुढ़ापे को मिल जाता है साथ और बच्चों को मिलते हैं संस्कार। बस इसी मिलन में छिपा है इंसानियत का असली रंग।